Dark kitchens are essentially facilities that are operated by restaurant brands that only offer delivery. So they allow these brands to kind of tap into the obviously ever-growing food delivery market that's been brought about by the rise of platforms such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo, which most people will be familiar with. They also allow restaurants to access a market where there is demand, but there isn't enough demand to justify a full restaurant. So it's a very cost-effective way of them elevating their brand in certain areas where there currently isn't enough demand for a full restaurant. It's an interesting question, this, because when the delivery platforms such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo first kind of materialised, there was a lot of nervousness surrounding the question of whether consumers would pay the same amount for a dish that they would normally pay in a restaurant, but for delivery only. And now there's kind of there's no nervousness surrounding that point at all anymore. And it's very clear that customers are happy to pay the same price that they would in a restaurant for takeaway. So I think, yes, is the short answer. Dark kitchens are the future of takeaway. And in fact, the requirement for dark kitchens has arisen due to the levels of sustained demand for food delivery. So when the platforms such as Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Just Eat first started, what was happening was you could service a delivery market from where you had a restaurant. You were using the restaurant kitchen to service the delivery market and also the dine-in customers. But since the market has grown and grown, restaurant operators have kind of twigged that you can't use the same kitchen to service the level of delivery demand and the dining customers. So therefore, they've started taking what's known as dark kitchens in kind of key strategic locations to meet all of the customer demand that there is. So I think the ASOS and Boohoo deals kind of really perfectly illustrate the 180 that has happened in the retail sector, certainly over the last 20 years. When ASOS was started in 2000, the big retail giants of that day were saying, this is doomed to fail from the start. It's not. You can't have online only and no physical stores. It will never work. And now we clearly can see that the tables have absolutely turned, and the online only brands are kind of swallowing up the retail giants of yesterday. That being said, there is a wide recognition across the industry that bricks and mortar retail isn't dead, and there is still a place for it. It's just undergoing a kind of intense transformation, and what the bricks and mortar kind of footprint looks like sort of remains to be seen. But I think Amazon opening their first grocery store in Ealing a couple of weeks ago is testament to the fact that there is still a place for physical stores. It's just kind of navigating how that looks in kind of today's society, really. These trends demonstrate a shift in the fundamentals that underpin all sectors within the property industry. From an industrial and logistics perspective, this sector is benefiting highly because the levels of demand and transactional activity means that there's pent-up demand on the leasing side, which is therefore driving the weight of investment trying to acquire industrial assets. And there's a lot of big players coming up with quite creative solutions to get into the industrial and logistics market. I think, moreover, there's these kind of topical trends are affecting the decisions that we as a sector and a society make surrounding the future use of property and how we best ensure that we've got a planning system that is future-proofed, if you will, to kind of design better real estate, but also help us to repurpose the existing real estate for kind of future generations to use. It's been clear for a long time that the existing model hasn't been working, and now it feels like we're getting to a place where the planning authorities are listening, and we can kind of move things forward.